Hey, ladies, welcome. Sarah Jane here, and I'm excited to be bringing this recorded version of week two's motivation elite energy reset. And so let's just jump right into it, right? Because this week is all about going from motivation to discipline. Last week we talked about mindset. Mindset is super important, right? How do you go from being youthful to being purposeful? That's what we talked about last week. And so now that you realize that you need to have purpose with everything you do, now you got to figure out, well, where are the areas that God wants you to be intentional and to continue to build your discipline so that you can be purposeful in all you do. Okay. So this session is built to help you figure out what your real motivators are, not your motivation, to reframe how you view motivation, and also to build a disciplined rhythm that sustains your energy, even if you don't feel like it. Okay. So, I want you to think of this as going from motivation to momentum. And if we talk about the myth that is, what is your motivation? Like you need something. Motivation is a feeling. Motivation is a spark. It's not a strategy. And if you've been waiting to feel motivated, to get consistent with your health, you'll keep waiting. So what you don't need is another spark. You need a system. And most importantly, you need a why. Your why is your motivators. Motivators are good. Motivators are, can be anything that matters to you. Think of all the good, the blessings in your life, like family, friends, your pets, your job, your business, your resources, right? You may have a lot of blessings in your life. Those are good motivators, but those don't serve as motivation. And so your why is, why do you need to continue to be your best self for your motivators? And your why is what's gonna help carry you when your willpower won't. Okay, so before we go any further, what I want you to do is I want you to take a brief moment, and I'll pause in this recording. What do you usually tell yourself when you feel off track? What do you usually tell yourself when you feel tired? I want you to write that down. Write one or two down. Write exactly what you say, or say it out loud. What do you usually tell yourself when you fall off track? When you fall off track, like let's say you started something really good, maybe this elite energy reset, and you missed one meeting, or you haven't been, doing your food, or you didn't go shopping. What do you tell yourself when you feel like you've fallen off track? You got it. Let's address those lies. Let's address those things we tell ourselves, right? Because it goes back to mindset. So here are the lies we believe about when we've fallen off track. If I were motivated, I'd be more consistent, right? That's a lie. If you were motivated, what the motivation to help you start the thing, right? Maybe it's the lead energy reset. Maybe it's a new project. You did have the motivation. And if you think that you always need motivation to be consistent, that's not true, right? Sometimes you just need, again, motivation's a spark. It helps get you going, but it will not help you be consistent. So if you told yourself like, oh, if I just had more motivation, I could be more consistent, that's not true, right? It just gets you started. It doesn't keep you going. Maybe you've told yourself, I just need to want it more. So if I wanted it bad enough, I do it, or I'm being lazy and stuff like that. And here's the thing. There's could be some truth to that. I'm not here to, paint roses and say that maybe you do need to push yourself a little bit more. I'm not going to say you probably or make yourself do something. I'm just going to say you don't need to want it more. It's clear that you want it because you decided or talked about it. But now it's again going from feeling like it, getting out that feeling to now doing. And now, or maybe you said you're not uncommitted, or you're not like so and so, or maybe this is a different season. Maybe you're comparing yourself to somebody else, or maybe comparing yourself to who you were last year or 6 months ago, right? That's not fair either. That's not why you lost motivation. These are not actual things that are hindering us. These are things we tell ourselves, okay? So motivation is an emotion. Commitment is foundational. And so we're building our energy on the foundation of discipline. We're not building our energy on how we feel. And we're not building it on um, if we want to or not. We're building it on what we value, right? So because you love your family, because you love yourself, because you love your community and your business, you have to have utmost energy and feel your best and look your best and have peace of mind and an open heart to do these things, okay? So let's talk about the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation, again, is based on feelings, where discipline, this is based on the decision. So maybe the feeling was I have low energy. That's why I joined the Elite Energy Reset. All right. Now, the discipline is because now you got started, right? The discipline is, well, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I'm going to keep showing up the best I can week to week, day by day, moment by moment. That is discipline. Discipline is based on the decision I'm going to show up despite how I feel or what I've able to do, like, or what I want to do versus what I'm able to do. So you put forth your best effort. Motivation is, okay, again, I said it, fueled by emotion. You decide, oh, I'm tired or I feel lazy or I'm sleepy and stuff like that. These are emotions, these are feelings. Natural, but if you decide that this is all you're going to build it off of, you'll never progress. Discipline is fueled on identity. So who do you say you are? What do you say you do? When you decide that, hey, I'm going to show up the best I can, this is going to allow me to continue to support and serve those who I've been called to support and serve. You do it from a place of wholeness. You do it from a place of peace of mind, from structure. You make the decision to continue based off of who you are, not what you're able to do or how you feel. Motivation gives you short bursts of energy, right? So you may feel energized in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, and that's cool. That's great. I'm not here to take that from you. But discipline, that's a long-term consistency. So discipline looks like, well, maybe on Tuesday I did it at 6 a.m. or I got up and I exercised or I moved at 6 a.m. And maybe on Wednesday it's 5 p.m. And you don't feel bad that you didn't do it in the morning. You understand that discipline requires a strategy, it requires consistency. So you decide, hey, I'm doing this based off of where I am today and not this made up level of perfection. And lastly, motivation is external. You're looking at everything else to decide how good or how great you will be for your wellness or for yourself, where discipline is internal and it's anchored. Discipline is, again, an identity based. This is who I am. I've got to be my best self. It's gonna require more of me, but I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. You're anchored in something. For me, it's me. I'm anchored in my faith. I'm anchored in who God has called me to be. I'm anchored in what Jesus has done on the cross for me. And I'm anchored in knowing that I get to show up and serve you ladies. I'm anchored in that. That's an internal thing. No one can take that from me. I don't need to be motivated to do that. I just need to know and believe that. You got to have your discipline and know what are your internal anchors so that you continue to show up and be your best self. Discipline is what kicks in when motivation checks out, because motivation will check out. Trust me, there are days where I think I'm motivated and I want to, and it's the spark, and then I'm tired and I'm over it, right? You know those days. But even discipline needs foundation, right? So now your foundation is your why, the deeper reason why you care about showing up for your health. And so I want to help you go from excuse to identity. So maybe you say, I don't feel like working out today. Let's reframe that. You can reframe that rather than saying, oh, I don't feel like working out today. You can say, I'm a woman who keeps her promises to herself. I'm a woman who keeps my promises to herself. One thing that confidence is built on is results. And so if you don't have confidence in one area, it's because you haven't built the result. It's because you haven't built a something that proves that, oh, I can do this. For instance, health and wellness. It's not that you don't know what to do, it's just that you haven't seen results. And so whenever you try something new, you're excited about it for a moment, but you know it's not going to last long because you haven't seen any proof that it could work. So therefore, you need to show yourself discipline. I'm a woman who keeps promises to herself. That's what discipline is. Rather than saying, I'm tired, you could say, and I know movement gives me energy. So you can acknowledge that you're tired. That's a real emotion. I'm tired and I know movement's going to give me energy. So I'm just going to move for about 10 minutes. That's all. Wake myself up, stretch, whatever that is, pick something. Keep a promise to yourself. Build your confidence, build your consistency. And rather than saying, I don't have time, you can say, but I have the authority to schedule what matters, right? So we take the power back. I don't have time. Time is a construct, right? It is what we live in. It is established. So, but you do have the authority to schedule what matters to you. Okay? So I want you to choose one of those old excuses, whatever you told yourself at the beginning of this video, at the beginning of this recording, as to why you can't do something or what's holding you back. I want you to rewrite it as an identity statement. Remember, discipline is born, it comes through your identity. Okay, this isn't about trying to prove yourself, it's accepting and realizing who you already are. I'm going to pause to give you a moment to rewrite one of those statements. And I gave you a couple, I don't feel like working out today, or I'm tired, or I don't have time. Reframe those in a positive, identity based statement. And if you need more time, you can pause this video and really just take the time. Don't rush to it. Play the music. But I want to make sure that I keep this succinct so that you can continue to pick up what you need. Okay, so the discipline ladder. You need to ask yourself, what do I do when I don't feel like it? Okay, well, number one, anchor your why. These go back to your motivators, not your motivation. Your motivators, good health, family, friends, community. Those are great motivators. That's your why. This is why you're choosing and why this matters, right? Number two, then you're going to pick one non-negotiable. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk. Maybe it's a water goal. Maybe it's a protein goal. Maybe it's a rest goal or sleep. Pick one non-negotiable for your day, for your day, okay? And stick to it. And number three is you're going to schedule it. So you're going to put it on your calendar. For you, if since we're talking about motivation and this week is about movement, right? Maybe it is the 10-minute walk. Maybe it is a 30-minute exercise. Maybe it is a 45-minute strength training session. Whatever it is, put it on your calendar. Don't let it happenstance. Don't let it chance. You are in meetings back to back most days, and you know what time you have to be at a certain place, what time you have to be on a certain Zoom or phone call. Treat your wellness, your movement the same way. Otherwise, you'll never get it done. And number four, say it out loud. Affirm your identity. Because I am a woman that wears many hats and God has graced me to do these things, I have to have the most energy. I need a moment to myself to think clearly, to strengthen my body and my mind so I have the best energy so that I can serve people well. Say it out loud. Make this an identity based solution rather than oh, I feel like it or I don't feel like it. What I want you to do lastly is again schedule it out. This week is about movement. Last week we talked about nutrition. This week we're talking about exercise, right? So for your exercise, you can figure out what do you like to do? What don't like you like to do? For me, I like strength training. I enjoy it. I like how I feel when I lift weights. So I incorporate strength training opportunities a couple times a week. I also like, to sweat, right? Like I don't want to work too hard some days. So maybe I'm on the Stairmaster and I'm really challenging myself. Whatever that is for you. It could be cycling, it could be walking, it could be jogging, it could be anything. Figure out what is it. And I say walking and I'm not trying to minimize it. That's a great way to start. If you do that, 3 to 4 times a week for about 30 to 50 minutes, you are well on your way to increasing your energy and feeling and seeing results. Again, results, confidence is based off of results that you've done something before. So figure out what you like to do, write it down, and now schedule it. Put it in your calendar. Give yourself a goal. I'm going to challenge you to put it in your calendar for twice this week. It could be a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. It could be a Monday, Thursday. Pick 2 days this week where you are going to move for a minimum of 30 minutes. Now, you can find 30 minutes. You can find 30 minutes in your schedule. You just got to be intentional about doing it. And that's what this whole program is for, okay? So we're moving from motivation. No, you don't have to feel like it. We're way past that. Now it's about discipline. Now it's about identity-based actions. Who I am requires me to show up in a different way. Who I am requires me to deliver in a certain way. Let me know how you do with this. Okay. Next week, we're going to go into momentum. Okay. This next week, we're going to go into momentum. We're going to tie this all together. First week, we talked about mindset. Today, we're talking about motivation and movement. And next week, we're going into momentum. How do we sustain this? Make sure that you are joining us live since it is our last week. And I'll hold you accountable to this. Did you do what you said you was going to do? And you can repeat this as many times as you need to, okay? You've got this. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. The mere fact that you're watching this means you care. So this isn't about trying to challenge yourself. It's just about showing up for yourself. I'll see you soon.